Oh, well, you have it there, and that would form the crux of our next discussion. If you ask the average Nigerian today about their plans for the next 5 years or thereabouts, it is almost certain that many, if not all, will tell you about their decision and plan to japa, of course, which literally means to emigrate or travel out of the country. Migration is actually not wrong. In fact, it has been part of humanity for centuries. People migrate due to various reasons such as economic, political, educational, and in search of greener pastures. And according to the United Nations International Migration Report of 2020, a total of 1.67 million Nigerians were international migrants around the world. While some analysts have hinted at the potential downsides effect of the brain drain on the Nigerian economy, some analysts have noted the possible benefit of such migrations to the country and the international community as a whole. Now, to help analyze this, we have with us in the studio Olusegun Okwade, a business analyst. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good morning, Bola, and good morning, Samson. My pleasure to be here this morning.
Good to have you. And joining us virtually is Segun Ogedengbe, a migration expert. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ogedengbe.
Yeah, good morning, Bola.
Good morning to you. Now, this trend of leaving the country, migration is actually a part of the characteristics of human existence. But this time around, it seems to be unprecedented. Is it something to be worried about?
Well, like you said in your intro, let's go back to time immemorial. Traveling is part of some of the things our leaders did then. But there is an underline that they go there, do some studies, come back to the country. We can roll back the 60s, 70s, even at the early age when we had independence. It was a main thing for everybody to travel out, but the focus then and now is what is different. Then you can talk about the equivalent of our currency with that of the diaspora almost at par. And you ask yourself the basic questions. What do I need to do in a strange man country when I have everything working for me? Yeah, those years you understand that you finish as a school start older and you already have Ijapa, I'm sure you know. So that I to the Japa, you know, then it was Ijapa, this Bito that they were using then. As a graduate, Peugeot 504, you come out as graduate. But things has actually changed from what it used to be and now. So that's why they removed the I in Ijapa and turn it to Japa for you to be able to leave. But by and large, it's the systemic failure on the part of our leaders that is making everyone to feel. But I will flip on the other side. Considering the fact that I have opportunity to have traveled to several countries based on my job, and I take time to at least 5-6 weeks out of the country to relax and rejuvenate for my business, you discover that there's no place like home. Most people get into it, and when they are there, the ego of like, what will people say, might be difficult to come back.
Well, I would come in there because if you say there's no place like home, some people will tell you that home is a place where I can sleep safely and keep my 2 eyes closed, where there is security and not just by the word home.
Well, at times we overblown some of those things.
Really?
If you say home is a place where I can sleep and wake up, Bola, you are here this morning, so you didn't sleep with your 2 eyes closed.
We're talking about that is a figurative statement. We're talking about security generally in the country.
Yeah, we know it. Same is obtainable even in the developed world that you're going. It's just like when you come to this part of the climb and you take a foreigner to VGC, take a foreigner to Banana Island, take them to Ikoyi, will you say that we're suffering here? The same way we have the slums, like Ajegunle, the suburb, interior of Ikorodu, we have also in that developed country. But most of the time we project the other side of ourselves.
Okay, I mean, we'll still delve further into this, issue of home, where what truly constitutes home for, different individuals. Let's get Segun's thoughts regarding the recent trend of emigration. What's your thought, really? You're an immigration expert.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, you see, the purpose, I normally say that the purpose of a trip is best known to the person that is taking the trip. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we
So
can.
now, a lot of people have decided to japa. It's a personal cross. Now, when you get there, what you see is also a personal thing, and you can't talk about without talking about what is presently happening.
Okay.
It's talking about the fact that it's a personal
Personal
choice.
choice,
So
yeah.
if you get there and you don't like what you see, it's still your choice.
Choice, issues with network, but I'm sure we'll get back to him. But you were talking about home. As you've said earlier, people, emigrate for different reasons. You said back in the days it was just for educational purposes that our forefathers or forebearers, moved. Okay, Shegun's back. Just before I get your thought on that, you have the floor. Shoot, please.
Shaggy, if you can hear us, please go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay,
right.
I think the network is still.
Okay, so
Okay.
so can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right. So when you look at two things that is driving the Japa season,
Okay.
the first one is the economic situation of the.
It was trying to talk about the economic, situation of the nation as one of the reasons.
I mentioned that.
Yes, you did. Earlier, you said our forebearers, migrated at the time just for educational purposes. But as you've said, that was when the, country was good and was homely. Now that, individuals feel like the nation isn't homely again, either in terms of security, economic reasons, or what have you, don't you think they still have valid reasons to migrate?
I would say I won't support that. You
Okay.
see, the easiest way to exit out of these things is to just think in a very myopic way. You don't run away from your trouble. You don't run away from your problem.
You wait even if it kills you.
Who gives you the guarantee that they're going to kill you? The truth of it is you stand with the problem. It's created by some people. Can you register your name as part of the problem solver? For your name, where you are japping to, you may not read history.
Okay.
Go and read about US. Go and read about UK. Go and read about France. They are their passing face. And like I will tell every individual, what we're going through in this country as we speak is a passing face. It's a cycle. And for every cycle, there's always a beginning. And there will be the end.
But have you seen the statistics of people who die daily due to the insecurity bedeviling the country? Because you're saying that you should stay around to be part of the solution creators and all of that. What if you lose your life, be the slaughter lamb, just because you want to create solution?
And I want to put it back to you that do you know the number of people that died for one reason or the other in the country that you are japping into? Okay. Do you know the number of our immigrants?
Let's look at the chances.
No, the number of even our so-called immigrants that we don't even hear about, that maybe after 1 to 3 months of their exit from the country, they cease to exist as human beings.
Okay, let's get Shegun's thoughts on that. Shegun.
Okay.
Okay, the network is really friendly this morning, it must be said. But, okay, Shegun, are you there? Okay, let's just go on a very short break. When we return, we'll try to get across to Shegun, and we'll still have Mr. Okonade here with us in the studio. Please to stay with us.
Each time one visits the immigration offices in Nigeria, it is often an unusual phenomenon to see Nigerians trying to apply for international passports or collect them. The rate at which Nigerians seek to leave the country in recent times calls for concern. Apart from seeking greener pastures, some Nigerians travel for educational purposes, among other reasons.
Nigerians are suffering. It has never happened today. Before. One of my friends was asking me at the Ikeja bus stop. He said, do you know that for the past 6 months, nobody have asked me for outing? I said, now what for you? How do they have you for outing? When you are going home, you can't even afford to buy bread to go and give your children. Our children are not running to us now to greet us again because there is nothing to show. So we must leave. Personally, I've already started packing my load. The rich are getting richer. The poor are getting poorer. Even the dogs are complaining because there is no food in the dustbin. Our children have been at home for over 6 months, and we are buying vehicles for those in another country that will not benefit us. Is that a country? So we need to leave. How I wish by the next 1 hour, any available plane, let me leave.
But why I feel Nigerians are leaving the country, majorly for me, is insecurity. Because you can't be free in a place where you are not safe. So for that, even if I have an opportunity, I'm going to leave this country immediately, like ASAP.
There are better opportunities out there. Not that we don't have them here, but achieving them here is very difficult. Take after graduating, for example, when you in fact get a job, you cannot compare the income level here as an entry-level person to what is attainable over there. And then, of course, you have good work, the good proper structure. Transportation is good, at least manageable. The health care is better. In fact, every other aspect of life there's better. So once I see an opportunity for me to go up, mobile, that is upward mobility, of course I'll take it. It's just a pity that my country cannot offer that same thing.
The economic situation is not comfortable, not convenient for some Nigerians. Most of them, their financial stability is actually not a good one. Some of them are struggling to survive. So they have the belief that even if they leave this country, they will have better opportunity, work opportunity. Let me say the basic things in life like water, light, and the things that they need to survive and live comfortably will be provided. So staying in Nigeria, they believe that everything is just like survival of the fittest. They are struggling to survive. So that is one of the beliefs that some Nigerians have. They feel that if they leave this country, they'll have a better opportunity outside there.
People need to survive. And if they can't survive where they were bettered, they have to go out there and try to survive. So in my opinion, because the amenities that should be there for them to make use of, to survive, the opportunities that should be there for them, they are not there. We don't have roads. We don't have lights. We have nothing. We virtually do everything for ourselves. We provide our security. Security, in fact, is another big headache. We provide our security. The people that are supposed to be providing security for us are the ones robbing us. It's crazy. We provide our security, we provide our water, we provide lights for ourselves. We make our roads. And they keep taxing the Nigerians, the Nigerian people. It's crazy.
All right, we're still discussing the Japatrend, and we still have Sheson Kwande, a business analyst, right here with us. And virtually, we have Shegun Ogedengbe, a migration expert. Thank you so much for staying with us, gentlemen.
My pleasure always.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's, Shegun, let's bring you in. You are a migration expert. Let's talk about some of the major reasons that people give to you for wanting to leave the country.
Okay. I think the major driving force for this Japa ecosystem is the opportunity that just came up. Now, you will understand that we're coming in from the COVID era, which had everybody sitting at home and gave everybody the opportunity to think about our lives and what we actually want to do with our lives. And considering the economic situation of the country, the truth is a lot of people are not seeing hope therein. So they decided that whatever money that I have left in savings, I would rather use it to Japa. Now, Japa is not cheap. I can say 80% of those that you see that are traveling are either going by a complete relocation program, such as the Canadian Express Entry and Skilled Workers Program, while the bulk of them are growing through study. People are just picking up their MSc application, admissions, and just relocating. Now, the opportunity that came up on board is majorly from the UK, because UK decided to grant visa to the spouse and the children. So if the husband is applying for a study permit, which is a 2 years MSc permit, something of that nature, then automatically the wife gets a visa and the children get a visa. So it has never been this good in the history of travel and relocation. So a lot of people are just jumping on the bandwagon to say, okay, let me just use this opportunity to relocate. Everything that I have in my savings, let me put it together. But then my fear, I have a little fear. Now, a lot of people don't understand the rules that these countries have set in place. What we know so far, I'm using UK as an example, is that after your 2 years study visa, you are entitled to another 2 years. They call it tier 2 visa for you to work. And after that tier 2 visa, which is also a 2 years visa, nobody knows what is going to happen. All right. But when you look at when people consider their present economic situation, they don't have a choice but to move. Okay? And you look at now, what do I have to lose? What am I looking out for? And since people are not seeing hope in this country, everyone is just deciding that, okay, it's better once there is an opportunity, US, UK, Canada, anywhere there is an opportunity, I'll just take my bag and relocate. So that is majorly the driving force for this relocation. And so far, so good. It's also been good for business.
I see. Well, it's different strokes for different folks. While it's bad for the economy, it is good for your business.
Yes, for now, yes, it's good. It's good for business. And it's even good for those that are actually relocating as well. But like I said, all we know is now. All we know is the next 2 years, maximum of 4 years. After that, we don't know. Now, something happened to my own very brother. You know, he was in UK and did his master's 2 years. After that, he got the tier 2 visa. That was before it was cancelled and reintroduced again. You know, after the 2 years, they asked him to leave the UK. I was in UK with him. We were at the court to argue that this guy has been here for 4 years or 4 years plus. Let him stay behind. They insisted that he should leave and he had to come back to Nigeria. Then. So I'm not ultimately convinced, and you should know that these countries, they are not confused. They know specifically who and what they are looking for. So we can only pray and hope that the policies remain the same and the policies remain favorable. Else, we are going to have a lot of disaster waiting in our hands in the next 5-6 years.
Well, let me come to you, Sheson. Now, you have talked about the fact that, yeah, we need to stay back to build the country, build the economy, even though statistics, for instance, there's a statistics that shows that over 1,000 people died due to insecurity in the first quarter of 2022. And we also have the issue with the economy. Inflation keeps rising on a daily basis. But if you look at all of this issue, what would convince the average Nigerian to want to stay back to build the economy?
Bola, let me just state this to you. When you talk about the issue of inflation, it's not peculiar to us. I'm sure if you have people out there in UK, in US, I have
it's
friends,
a global phenomenon.
the guy will tell you that in fact, like Shegun said, I have one of my friend who actually, you know, relocated from Lagos to Ibadan and from Ibadan to UK. And I'm like, you have a good job, as at least in court. I know you're comfortable, you have the property in Ibadan, and relocated the family and used the small infrastructure provided, which is our rail, you know, on Monday morning and relocate back to the family in Ibadan Friday, which typically is what at times some of these migrants do.
Even though the rails are not safe.
Well, we'll say they are not safe, but like everybody will say, this unfortunate thing happened globally. You can only hold feet that you don't be part of that issue on a particular day.
What unfortunate fate happens globally?
You know, attack maybe on the rail, on the road.
Not the way it happens in Nigeria.
The rate of insecurity
not the way
in
it happens in
Nigeria, you know, the insurgency, the terrorism, and all of that. That would spike fear in the hearts of people and even want them to migrate.
It will always spike the fear. But you yourself needs to just, there is more outside this insecurity that we talk about. That one is there. But on your own, what faith do you have in yourself to give back to this economy? Some people will say, my giving back to the economy is not adding any value. But I can tell you, I have this premonition that is a cycle. And for everything that has a beginning, there will be, it may tarry.
Well, those who have their family members still in captivity would not say what you're saying.
I understand that plight, but just like Shegun said, how will you invest so much? Take, for example, while the brother was there, I appreciate him using a practical example of himself. What will you say of yourself after 4 years, you are there with the aim, you know, there is this premonition that I'm not returning. There is hope that I'll get something, you know, doing and stay back with the relocation idea. But it's not working and they ask you to come back home. What will you fall back on? The same country you're saying that is terrible, there's level of insecurity, is where they applaud you back to. And when that happens, I don't think, because I'm not an immigration expert, I don't know whether there is room for you to reapply and follow the same route.